Hi everyone! Today we're doing the Plank Extravaganza, the at-home everything guide to getting your plank on with me, Alex. So our first plank is going to be a standard forearm plank. There's two ways you can do this. You can support yourself from your toes or from your knees. What this is going to look like is you're going to go down onto your elbows, keeping your hips nice and low. If this is too difficult, you can drop to your knees, like I said. It's fairly simple, and this is how you do a forearm plank. The second plank we're going to cover is a standard straight arm plank. So instead of going from our elbows, we're going to have our hands out in front of us like so. And remember, you could always go from your knees or your toes. The most important thing to do, though, is to keep your hips low to the ground so that your body is in a flat line. This is easily done, keeping your core nice and tight. Trying to draw your belly button towards your spine is a good way to visualize it. So what this one looks like, arms out in front of you, nice and straight, and settling in, keeping those hips low, nice straight body. Again, if you need to, drop to your knees and keep that core nice and tight. That's how you do a standard straight arm plank. So now that we've learned a standard forearm plank, we're going to add a modification to it. We're going to do a forearm side plank. What that's going to look like is we're going to support ourselves on one arm, lying out to the side, like so. You can stagger your feet or have them on top of each other, whatever's easier for you. Staggered feet is going to be more stable, however. Once you feel like you're in a stable position, you're going to engage the side of your body, lifting your hips off the ground. From here, you can put an arm up, out straight, like so, and even your leg if you need to, focusing on balance the entire time and keeping that core tight. Since we've also learned the straight arm plank, we're now going to do the modification side straight arm plank. What that's going to look like is you're going to support your body with your straight arm and be on your side like we were with the side plank. What that's going to look like, one arm out, holding your body. You're going to immediately have to engage this side, holding your hips up straight. You can again lift your arm up and even bring your foot up if you need. This one is going to be a lot more challenging and more difficult to balance. So make sure you have a clear space around you when you do so. So now that we have a couple exciting ways to do planks, we're going to start throwing in more body movement into these. What we're going to do next is a forearm plank with hip dips, dipping your hips. What that's going to look like is when you're in your plank form, you're going to shift one side of your hip towards the ground and then the other. What that's going to look like is we go down into a plank, like so, again, from the knees or the toes, and we're going to take our, right hip, dip it towards the ground, bring it back up. Now the other side, left hip down and back up, right hip down and back up. That's how you do a hip dip. So now we've added a modification to our forearm planks. We're going to add movement and modification to our straight arm planks. What these are going to be are knee taps. What those look like is you're going to have your arms out in front of you, nice and straight again, and we're going to come up into a triangle shape, taking one of our hands and tapping our opposite knee. What that's going to look like, when we go down, we assume the straight arm plank position. We're going to bring our hips up, arms straight like the yoga move, downward dog, touch one of our knees, and come back down into a standard plank. Alternating sides. A nice quick tap, always returning to the straight arm plank. Our next plank is going to be a variation of our side plank and the hip dip with a side plank hip dip. You can do this from your forearm or with a straight arm, whichever one is easier or that you prefer. What that's going to look like is we're going to go into a side plank, feet next to each other or on top, dropping that hip down to the ground. You're going to engage this side, bringing yourself into the side plank form and dropping it back down, repeating for the amount of desired repetitions that you want. Up, engage, hold, down, relax. Up, engage, and hold. That's how you do a side plank hip dip. So we've thrown in a lot of leg movements so far, and hip movements, but now we're going to do some arm movements. This is going to be a straight arm shoulder tap. When you're in your straight arm plank, you're going to take one arm, bring it up and tap a shoulder, placing it back down. What that looks like is you're going to go into your plank form. Again, you could be from your toes or your knees. You're going to take one of your arms, bring it up, tap a shoulder, and put it down. You can do this as fast or as slow as you want. Make sure to keep those hips down and that core engaged though. That's how you do a straight arm plank shoulder tap. The next exercise that we're going to do is going to be a straight arm plank with alternating leg extension. What that's going to look like is we're going to go into our standard straight arm plank, keeping those hips low and that core engaged, and we're going to engage our glutes and lift one leg off the ground, holding for a brief second, returning to the plank, keeping those hips low and that core engaged, alternating legs each time, up and down, holding that plank, up and down. That's how you add in the alternating leg extension. The next exercise that we're going to do is going to incorporate our alternating leg extension with a little bit of arm motion and balance as well. A lot of you might be familiar with this exercise. It's called a bird dog. We're going to stay on our knees and have our arms directly out in front of us like so. We are going to balance, alternating one arm and one leg at the same time. We're going to put one leg out and one arm out. Balancing, bringing it back. Alternating out and back. Keeping that core and upper body as stable as you can. If you want to add a little bit of extra intensity to this one, you're going to extend both and come together in the middle, tapping the knee and the elbow and looking back out before you alternate. This one's going to require a little more flexibility and balance, but it adds a little bit of spice to it. Our final exercise is going to incorporate a lot of what we've learned with the ultimate amount of movement. What this is it's going to be a mountain climber. So you're going to be moving your legs a lot, holding your core, and we're going from a straight arm position. What this looks like, and I have my mat rolled up here for a little bit of hand support and comfort. Going into a straight arm plank position, we are going to bring one foot forward and then bring it back and alternate. You're going to pick the pace up as you feel comfortable until you get into a rhythm, alternating back and forth, keeping that core tight, like so. Repeat for as many desired repetitions. All right, so we've gone over 11 different distinct types of plank or plank-like activities with a few modifications thrown into each. This will give you plenty of opportunities to experiment and find what you like most. What I want you guys to do is pick 3 to 5 of these that you like and repeat them for a predetermined amount of time or repetitions. You get to decide on that for at least 3 sets, or repeating it at least 3 times. Once you've completed that, you can experiment with the other ones that you didn't get to on a different day. But this is a great way to keep your body moving and engage your core, which is important while we're at home in this stay-at-home vacation mode. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys found plenty of exciting ways to get your exercise on with planks in an extravagant way at home. Again, my name is Alex, and I hope to see all of you guys back at Parkpoint soon.